Yes, welcome for our third and last demo session for human capital management. Today, we are going to take a transaction to perform the global HR activities here. Let's say the requirement is like this. I'm just going to have one requirement here. We need to configure a company where define the business unit, nothing but a branch, and define a department in that branch. In that branch, we have to define a department called sales department and define the job called manager. We need to define the job called manager. And we need to define a position called sales manager. Then hire employee for company, for the branch, for the department, for the job, as well as for the position. These all things we need to configure. Now client is telling, I will give you the instance, then you are supposed to perform all this operations work. So now the requirement is we need to configure the company. That's what we call it as legal entity in Fusion applications. Then we need to configure the branch, nothing but a business unit. Then department will call it as it is. Job, okay, it's position also. Yes, company name, let's say MRF India Private Limited. That's the name of the company. Branch, MRF Delhi branch, we call it as business unit. And department, I'm going to say that, say, sales. Let's say department is MRF sales department. And then job, MRF sales manager, MRF manager. That's the job name. And we would like to have the position as MRF sales manager. All these setups we have to perform, and then we have to go for hire employee and go for search employee. That's the simple assignment. Let's say once you join in the project, they wanted to test how strong you are in application to take up this all options. So here, whenever we want to perform this, these all are setups. This is a transaction, hiring an employee and search for an employee. This is a transaction. So when we want to perform all these operations, first we have to be clear which roles are required. For this, we required application, implementation, consultant role. This is very simple. Everybody knows this because it is one of the implementation role. If you have the access to this role, then you will be able to implement the product. It may be a human capital management or finance or order management. It can be any module also. So we required this. Okay. And then we are talking about now here, this is hiring an employee and search for an employee. This we call it as, we will call this as our role name is human resource specialist. That's the role name, human resource specialist. We required this role to hire an employee for all these objects, whatever we have configured over here. Okay, let's see how we will go for perform it. Let's enter into the application. So the instance which we are going to work, this is common for any client. You work for any client, the same instance you will be getting, and we don't find any difference. The requirement will be different. That's of course. Obviously, it will be different from client to client, but the environment and the look and feel, the application, it will be same. We'll find everything, it will be same. Okay. So first what we have to do is we have to verify the role is available or not. Application implementation consultant. Go to user menu, setup and maintenance. Yes. So the role is available. So we'll be able to access that from here. Go to setup and maintenance. And we can go ahead with compensation management, or we can go ahead with workforce deployment or development. Any offering we can choose and start performing activities here. So here first I would like to go for legal address, nothing but office. Without address, there is no company, right? So first we have to define an address. It is based out in India, right? India legislation. MRF, Delhi office, city, Delhi, and pin code. All this information our client is supposed to tell us. So that we will go for configure. Once the legal address is there, then legal entity we have to create. Select the scope. System is asking, do you want to search for existing legal entity or do you want to go for create a new legal entity? Okay, so we would like to go for, create a new legal entity. Nothing but new company. Would like to configure new company over here it is. Let's go for create new, apply and task here. Let's go for create here. Now choose the country name. It's India, right? Choose this country is India and name. What is the name of the company you would like to have? MRF India Private Limited. Choose this. Identification. So the client will tell us what is the identification number and address. Just now we created, right? MRF Delhi. As per India company law jurisdiction, this company is registered and place of registration, let's say in Delhi. PAN number, permanent account number, legal reporting unit registration number here. Go for save and close. So we configured the company successfully. Then we need to create a branch, nothing but a business unit. So this business unit we have to assign to the employee, sorry, to the company. We need to assign to the company. Now let's go for this here. Business unit. I'm going to create one business unit. Obviously, every company will have either one branch or multiple branches, right? So that we are going to specify. So what is the name client wants to have? MRF Delhi BU. MRF Delhi Business Unit. Where it is located. If we want to choose the location, of course, we can choose. Otherwise, not required. Choose some default objects. Common objects we have to select. Okay. Then branch also is done. We need to assign this business unit to the legal entity, nothing but a company. But before that, we need to create a ledger, or we need to assign our company to the ledger. So go to the task here, assign legal entities, select the ledger, whatever we have. I'm searching for India ledger, INR currency. Choose any ledger. Every company is required one ledger. So within this ledger, I'm going to assign my company. What is the purpose of ledger? Ledger is used to maintain the accounts in proper format. So whatever the accounts we are maintaining in this company, MRF India Private Limited. So all these accounts will be maintained in this ledger format. Currency, calendar accounts will be maintained. Now let's go for assign this business unit to the company. Nothing but assign the branch to the company. Assign business unit, business function. Select your business unit, whatever we have created. So what we have created, MRF. Like this, we'll assign the business units to the companies. Let me search for our company. What is our company name? MRF. If client says that I have one company in India and there are 20 branches, then we have to create 20 business units and assign all these 20 business units to their to the legal entity. So we are supposed to assign that. Let's go for save and close. Next, now branch setup is completed. Next, we have to create a department assigned to the branch. That's very simple. Go to department, select. While creating the department, if you select common set, it will be automatically assigned to your business unit. Okay, so which department you require? Sales department. Just enter department name. Of course, a lot of options are there while creating department or legal entity or BU. Right now, this is assignment we are going to take and perform it. Next, create a job in this company. Because when the organizations are hiring employees, they'll follow some job, right? Clerk job, manager job, accounting job, production manager, like that. So what is the job name? Manager, MRF manager. That's the job name we would like to follow. And I'm going to say it's a full-time job. Let's configure. It's a full. All this information is supposed to given by the business users. When we are working as a functional consultant, we are supposed to interact with the client and gather the requirement, prepare a document, and get approval and do the setups. Once we do all these setups in our development instance, then we'll go for migrate from development to testing and testing to production instance we are going to perform. Okay, that's how we will do this here. Let's go for completion of the job. So we have successfully completed job creation. Then we are going ahead with position. So within the job, we will find position. Let me just take this job and position we are working. While working with position, system will ask us for which branch, means for which business unit, for which department, and for which job you are going to create. Let's go for position setup here. We have to go to human capital management. Right now we are in financials offerings. Let's come back to compensation management and go for position. Manage positions here. Create. Here it is asking for which business unit you are creating. Delhi. What is the position name? MRF Sales Manager. I would like to allow the system to go with 10 members. We want to hire 10 members for this position, maximum, not more than that. So that we can do it, right now the status is active. What is the department? MRF Sales. How about the job? MRF Manager. And here we can restrict whether you want to hire employees for this position or not. Approved means we can hire. We would like to allow 20 members. Select pooled and FTA, full-time equivalent, 20 members, headcount, 20 members. So we would like to hire 20 members maximum for this position. That's what I have configured over here. And we could see that. Click next button. Let's go for submit. So while creating the position, we have given only one setup, that is approved, and the second one is pooled. We have restricted up to 20 members. A lot of other options are there that we have not configured because it's not required right now. Now we want to go for hire an employee. Make sure that you have the role called human resource specialist role. Go to navigator, my client groups. See, here we are supposed to get hire employee, hire new employee. Right now I'm not getting that because I don't have the access to that particular functionality. This user does not have the access. Then we need to add. How to add the roles to the user? We have to go to tools menu, security console. We have to go to tools menu, security console, go to the tab called users tab here. In the users tab, we have to search for the user. And after searching for the user, we'll come to know what roles are there for the current user. And let's go for edit and add the roles. What is the role name? Human resource specialist. For every module, there will be 3 to 4 roles. We must be very clear what that role is having, what functionalities, and what security you will be able to get because of that role. Because when we are working in the real time, we are supposed to customize these roles and we are supposed to create new roles as per the requirement. We are supposed to do all these activities. Okay. So let's go for it. Add role membership. Click done button. Now save and close. Now what we have done, we have added the role called human resource specialist role here. Human resource specialist role. We have done that. Okay. Click done button. Generally, when we add the role, we don't need to run any program. In fact, we don't need to log out and log in also. We are supposed to get automatically. You can get it from navigator, my client groups, or we can get it from here also. Both are same, whether we go to navigator, This is a navigator menu. This is a springboard. We call it as a springboard. So whatever options we are able to get here, the same options we'll get it here also. Okay. So it seems still the role is not updated. Let me just refresh the page. Yes, and verify it. Still not coming. Just log out and log in. Now I'm able to log in here. Go to navigator, my client groups. I can see that new person. It means we can hire an employee. The role, whatever we have assigned for the current user, that has been applied successfully. Select new person. It means we want to hire new employee for the organization. And this is basically the HR activity. Whatever we have done so far, it's our job, our responsibility because we have done the setups. But once we do the setup, we can't deliver directly to the client, right? Obviously, we are supposed to test with multiple scenarios, unit test, integration test, system integration test, and finally we have to go for deliver. Multiple times with the different options, we have to test it, right? That's the reason. Okay, that's the reason we are going to have. Let's go to navigator, new person. Still, it's not populated. Why it's not working? They're supposed to get it right. Let me check the role has been applied successfully or not. Role has been applied, otherwise we don't get this option here. Let me verify this person management. Go to navigator, tools menu, security console. Go to the tab, users tab, and search for the user name. Let me cross check the role which we have assigned. Human resource specialist role. Go for edit. Human resource specialist. Choose this role, PER. The role code, whatever we have PER underscore, I can see that there are two roles with the same name, human resource specialist. Role name is same, but the role code is different. If we look at here, this role code is PER underscore, and whatever the role we have assigned ORE underscore. PR stands for its persons. That is the base role, which is provided by Oracle. So we are supposed to use that. By mistake, we have used this ORE underscore. Now it's done. Let's go for save and close. Done button. Let me just log out and log in from here. Go to my client groups, new person. Now it's working. So we have given the wrong role name, which is not updated actually. So PR underscore role code, whatever we have, that we will be using. I can see that here there are different options: hire an employee, hire pending workers, contingent worker, non-worker, like that we have different. Now we would like to hire an employee. When we are hiring an employee, system will ask us 5 levels of information. First tab, system will ask us employee identification details, personal information, nothing but home address, phone number, email ID, like this. Employment information, nothing but job, position, grade, business unit, like that. Compensation and salary details. And finally, we'll go for review the employee details and we'll go ahead with closing options. So these are the different tabs we have, which we'll be using for configuration of hiring an employee. Okay. So we can choose an employee hiring date, either current date or history or future date also depends. Let's say this employee has joined in the company with old date. It's very common, right? So you are implementing today human capital management for the client. And now client says that already I have 10,000 employees. Can you please load it? Then the joining date will be the old dates, right? History that we are supposed to make. I'm not getting the legal entity name because we have missed one step. After your company is registered, it should be assigned for legislative data group. We have missed it. That's why it's not populating. So let me verify this legal entity. Legal entity. Select your legal entity and make some changes which are required to hire an employee. So one of the important question in the interviews, they'll be asking us like, I created legal entity, but when I'm hiring an employee, system is not showing that. Because your legal entity is not enabled as legal employer. If you enable it as legal employer, then only you can hire employees. When you say I can hire employees, then we are supposed to specify how will you pay the salaries for those employees. It's a PSU, payroll statutory unit. PSU, payroll statutory unit, that we are supposed to enable these two checkboxes. That one we have missed. The second one is, if you are hiring an employee and says that I'll run the payroll and pay the salary to my employees, then you should follow some statutory rules. If you are in India, you are running the business as per Indian government, you are supposed to collect the tax from employee salaries and you are supposed to provide some benefits to employee, both earnings and deductions as per statutory rules we are supposed to follow. Same thing for US, same thing for UK also. Different legislations will have different statutory rules and regulations that we are supposed to follow. That's why you are supposed to assign your company to the legislative data group. That's what we'll do here. Select HCM information. Go for edit correction. Go to the tab PSU, payroll statutory unit, and associate with the legislative data group. Legislative data group means indirectly country, nothing else. Indirectly, it's a country and currency. So whatever the statutory rules and tax rules are there in that country, it will be applied for the employees. So these two setups we have missed. That's the reason we are not able to get our company when we are hiring an employee. Let me go back to my client groups and new person. Hire an employee. I'm going to say that this employee has joined in the organization 1st January 2023. And what's the company name? MRF. Now we got, right? And title. Then we are going to specify the first name and last name of the employee. Kumar Mahesh. Smith's middle name. Rao. Date of birth. National identification number in India, it's Aadhaar card, right? Aadhaar card or PAN card. We are supposed to enter. Let me go with the Aadhaar card. 12-digit number I'm going to enter. Click next button. These are identification information. Date of birth, Aadhaar card and details. This. And then home address. Let's say employee is located in Hyderabad. That's the home address. Phone details, email details, legislative information, and marital status, religion. This, this all will find depends on the legislation and the highest qualification, citizenship, passport information, visa information, all this related for the personal information and emergency contacts, father, mother, sister or brother or spouse, son, other info, contacts information will maintain it. It's a general. Click next button. This is very important. This tab is very important. Here only we are going to manage all our employment information. Already we mentioned company, for which company he is going to work, and what is the branch, for which branch he is going to work. Already we configured one branch, right? Yes. How about the position? MRF sales manager, we configure. Obviously, when we are working in the real time, hundreds of jobs, positions, departments, locations, business units, we are supposed to configure. Right now, we have done only one. We'll be having hundreds. And also, we have not configured that much of business functionality here. We'll be doing that as per the requirement in the setup here. It is. Now I'm going to select the position. The moment when we choose position, it takes automatically job name, corresponding job name we got, corresponding department name we got. Here, job name, department name. And if we want to choose the location, we can choose. And working category, he's going to work as a consultant. We want to choose the location. Of course, we can choose from here. Can search for existing locations. Click advanced button. Say is not blank. And click search button. I'm going to choose that any of the location we can select here. Hyderabad location. Okay. So this is about the assignment information. Click next button. Any salary, if you want to go for populate for an employee, we can use this. Click next button. Let's go for submit. This is how we will go for hire an employee. Once we hire an employee, we can find employee details from person management. At the same time, this employee hiring process, we can also configure it as approvals. We need approval from the manager. That comes from approval management, BPM work list, it will be configured. So we successfully hired an employee. Let's search whether we have done it or not. Go to person management. Person management is the page where we can search for an employee. Okay, going to search here, and this is for the employee, and we can find employee number, nothing but person number. I can see person number over here. This is person number, person details. Here we can find, and assignment details. Assignment is nothing but set of information which we have assigned for an employee. It includes business unit, department, job, position, and all. For example, I would like to make some changes. Let's say I want to add the manager for this employee. While hiring, I forgot here. Here I wanted to assign the manager, but while hiring, I forgot. But now I want to do this. So how we will go ahead with this? Let's go for edit, correction. Correction will be used to update the record immediately. It'll go for replace. Update is used to update your record either for future date or for any other dates according to the requirement. Okay, correction means today itself. Let's say I want to add the manager from October 1st onwards. Okay, so let's say line manager, I will go for add today itself, go for a correction. Where is that? Here. We don't have any manager for this employee at this point of time. Let me just go for add here. I'm going to assign the manager. He is line manager. But I would like to go for assign. Click review button. Without review, we cannot go for submit. After we click review button, then only we'll be able to submit and save the records here. Now click done button. Close. I can see that manager details. I would like to add project manager from October 1st. Edit, update. If I want to add the information to this record in future dates, then we can. System will ask you from which date this information needs to be updated in the database. From October 1st. Select October 1st. We'll call this as a date rank. We'll call this as a date rank. So what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to change the manager. What's the reason why you are changing the manager? I'm just going to make it as some new hiring for the manager here. Go down here. I'm going to add one more manager for this employee. Choose the manager name here. And I'm going to say that he is a project manager. But not from today, he will be available from October 1st. Click review button. Without review, we cannot go for submit. Now go for submit. So here, while searching for the record, system will ask us which date you would like to get the information. As of today, what is the record, or you want to get the information as of October 1st. First, we'll see as of today, 6th September 2023. You can find only one manager. We cannot find multiple manager information because the second manager will be available from 1st October, right? So what we can do is, let me change the date from October 1st. October 1st onwards, another manager will be added for this employee. Choose employee record. This is very important when we are working with human capital management. Effective start date and effective end date, from which date onwards it is. Now I can see the two records. Okay. So like this, we have different options. We'll be talking about that in our training. So this is a simple, requirement which we got. We can call it as a requirement. Or once we join in the company, they may assign you, can you configure all this? They'll give the instance. They just wanted to test your skills. Okay, they wanted to confirm that you are a working consultant. So that time they can tell this requirement and ask you to configure yourself within 30 minutes or 1 hour. We should be in a position to complete, and we should be very clear the sequence of steps. This comes from the first module, Global HR. Of course, we'll be discussing each and every field, whatever we have done in these objects in our training, and we'll, as a functional consultant, configuring the setups and testing those setups. Thank you. Whatever we have done, you can go ahead once it is finalized. Subscription, then we will deliver to the client. More updates. Then client will go for perform. We don't give the access to the setups environment. Yes, guys, any doubts here, please? So this environment, this is what client cannot access. This is what actually we are. They cannot access this setup and maintenance. They'll be having the access to the navigator and perform hiring, transfer, global transfer, termination, reverse termination, mass update. All this they will be doing, promotions, everything. Yes. Okay. Yeah. Tell me.
Can I ask, why
Please.
did you not associate the department and job to the reference data set? You just associated them to the business unit straight away.
I have assigned to the common reference data set. So common reference data set means indirectly that is applicable for all the business units. So while creating the job, I have selected the reference data set called common set. That's mandatory. Without selecting that, we can't complete the object.